Welcome to the mountains of Vermont. Twice a year, drivers from the Northeast gather at the bottom of Okemo's access road to participate in what can only be described as one of the purest forms of motorsport, hill climb racing. Last time I was here, I was filming Ray Team's Audi S1E2 as they closed out their 2024 season. While my fascination for hill climb racing started long before that, I knew this was something I had to try on my own when I got the chance. My weapon of choice, my 186 horsepower E36, optimized for smooth racetracks and I'll admit, not the best tool for the job. But in the essence of run what you brung, it will do for now. What a ride, and not bad for a first practice run. With real runs starting tomorrow, I took in the view and began to process what I just experienced. Alright, so I could probably carry a little more speed into some of those corners. That's probably about as fast as I'm willing to go with these bumps though. It's getting a little sketchy. The car is literally just hopping. I'm not really maintaining a good contact patch here at all. The car is holding up. I mean, the bumps, the way we're hitting them, it's so violent that I honestly feel like I'm breaking the car, but it seems to be taking it. I could definitely carry some more speed going into the corner after the mud pit, but carrying any more speed into that mud pit too is just gonna, like, I just don't want to understeer again in there. That was super sketchy. I could probably go into second on the S's, but other than that, that's about as fast as I'm probably willing to go. The next day we were greeted with another exceptional morning.
With a warm coffee in hand, I finally got a chance to walk around the paddock and get a look at all the rally spec hardware. Alright guys, first session of the day. It is cold. Thankfully it's dry though, so this morning's going to be a little better than yesterday's. Road's super bumpy still. I got a 244 yesterday. I'm not really sure if I'm willing to go any faster than that, so as long as I match that pace again, we should be okay. Should be P1 in class. So I'm just going to try to replicate that, not do anything too crazy. Not going to take any risks. I think there's some turns I can definitely improve on. Maybe drop down a gear on the S's, but But yeah, I'm not trying to put the car on the ditch today, so just gonna make a nice clean run and have some fun. Man, it doesn't get much better than this. Fall day, perfect weather. We're racing cars. I'll admit I was a little nervous. This was my first real hill climb in my first time run, in my first real race car. My 10-year-old self would be giving me a big high five.
Jack.
How you doing, boss?
Morning. Good. How are you?
Good, good. What a morning.
Yes, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's warming up slowly, but gonna be a perfect day. Bit cold for the tires, but perfect for everything else. Remember, be careful at 29. The rest have fun.
Sounds good, boss. That was just flat out like dumb. I literally did the exact opposite of what I said I was going to do, and I just sent it, and we almost crashed out pretty good there. That was a stupid mistake this early in the morning. I'm not going to do that again. I mean, I just got to be smarter than that. Too early in the day to be duffing the car. stupid. All right, so going into turn 3, I completely misjudged that turn. I went in too fast. I apexed on turn 2 way too early, and that ended up pushing me way too far on the inside, carrying way too much speed going into turn 3, which then basically pushed me into the dirt. I went 2 off, basically had almost half of the car literally in the dirt. So thankfully I kept my foot in it and ended up shaving off like 7 seconds, but that was big time sketch. I don't think I would do that again. After I just kind of like got over that, going down into second through the S's definitely rocketed me out of those turns a lot quicker. So I guess we'll just try to do that on the top section a little bit more and just maybe chill out a little bit on the bottom section. The problem with turn 3 is that straightaway matters so much. So if you don't get a good kind of trajectory out of that and carry a lot of speed, you could lose 10 miles an hour for what is basically a 15 second straight. But yeah, that was a little bit of a wake-up call. I could have really duffed it there, and that would have been really dumb on the first run of the day, on basically the first turn. So we're going to try not to do that again and just try to clean it up. This kind of event, it's just not really worth doing that, but currently sitting P1. All right, so just kind of thinking this over, trying to like visualize how I'm going to do this run, but I think just turning in a little later, letting off the throttle a little later, but staying off the throttle for longer, going into turn 2, setting up for 3. That way we can get a better trajectory going into that straight. I want to try to apex later in general, which will allow me to just stay flat. The top section, I just got to be careful. The road is super bumpy and super unpredictable up there, and at speed I'm just hopping. I think just maybe take like 10% off there, you know, just set up appropriately for the straights. Try to get a clean start here too. Definitely losing a second or two just spinning my wheels off the start line, so let's try to just hook that up this time. And I think if we can just execute that, you know, we might be able to shave a second or 2 off without risking any more than we're already doing. Again, this is just a hill climb. It's a fun event, but we're just here for fun and some friendly competition. Yep, I'm good. Yeah, not anymore.
And my first racing crash. We checked all the boxes that day. I'd be lying if I didn't feel completely embarrassed. My error had held up the race for over an hour, and I knew the way I was driving was risky from the beginning. On a slightly positive note, I nailed turn 3 and barreled down the straight. What I didn't anticipate is how much faster I was going. But what I still can't make out is why in that moment I decided to brake so late. I started braking about a half a second later than all of my previous runs. By the time I realized how deep into the corner I was, it was already too late. A silly mental error, and I almost totaled the car because of it. I want to take this moment to thank the entire Niha crew and community for their support and help in that moment. They extracted the car effortlessly and minimized any further damage, but most importantly, they assured me that everything was going to be fine and this is just racing. While I assumed the car to be totaled, upon exiting found it wasn't a complete loss. The control arm bent like a banana, the radiator had been bent and pushed back into the engine, the bodywork was a mess, and it even looked like the frame rail had been moved up a little bit. But this is an E36, parts are cheap, and in the grand scheme of things could have been much worse. So where do we go from here? This car has seen its fair share of battles since I purchased it back in 2023. From transmission issues to money shifts to other teething issues, it's been quite a journey to get this car to the point where I would be comfortable driving it on a racetrack. But in my short ownership has already brought me to places I never thought I'd have the chance to go to. It's taken the bumps and bruises and is ultimately a car that I can learn in. It's allowed me to progress as a driver and even as a person, so I'll be damned if I'll let this be it. Chomp will live to fight another day.